Cheers. Oh, I missed you.
I'm missing you.
I missed you last time too.
It was honestly your fight with Ortega, without a doubt, fight of the year. Whatever I have to do to say that.
Incredible.
And anyone who just questions the merit of your championship caliber, like what you escaped in round 3, and then obviously this guy, his chin, he wouldn't go away. I saw your comments, and obviously we were right there ringside when he got the extra time. Doctors came in, Herb Dean was talking to him. I don't know if that was allowed to for that excess time, but it didn't faze you. You got the frickin' job done. You celebrated, and I think just if you weren't respected before, which blows my mind too, where you stand right now in the history of the sport in the featherweight division, I think you're making your mark and you're continuing to do it. I texted you that too. I DM'd you that was fucking amazing.
If you start that 4th round in a minute, if you only give him a minute and you go start, that fight's over.
It's over. Yeah. It's over.
You give him that extra minute. You could see him in the last 10 seconds of that click back to it. Because I've been there before. You get rocked real bad. You don't quite know what it is, but it can happen pretty instantaneously, where you're just everything's going cuckoo, and then you get click, oh yep, back to normal. And you could see it in the last 10 seconds before they restarted the fight. You could kind of see Ortega come back. So
you got the whole minute, yeah. And again, as he said, it would have been, it would have been over. At the end of the day, I'm sort of glad because we ended up having a couple of extra rounds, and obviously entertainment. Everyone loved it. All right, all good. But would I have got the same treatment? I want to know that, because it was picking him up off the floor. Not allowed. That's a TKO in itself. Your corner's not allowed to get you to your stool. I'm pretty sure that is an actual rule. You are not allowed to, get him off the floor. If he does it, I don't know exactly how it works, but so you already had that, and then. The doctors, you could see the doctor wanted to stop it. Herb wanted the fight to keep going. And they just gave him, I was there watching. I was zoned in, listening to exactly what was said. And, he was literally, oh, look here, go there. And he's doing all,
we could
you
see
know
that
what I mean?
too.
And
we were sitting right behind him. So we could see you looking in. We could see that. And
he was looking the wrong way, stumbling. At one stage I was overthinking that. I think he wants out. He's just doesn't want to say, I'm done, or he really was that hurt. So I'm after that, I'm that's it anyway. He's done. How's he gonna come back from this? And then next minute he's pretty sharp, and he's still back on his feet. And I'm all right, maybe I've got to be careful still. So credit to him. Obviously, where words were said, I was telling him, he doesn't have my respect. I see weakness and all this sort of stuff, and how can you not really sort of respect him after at least getting through all that?
What did you notice power-wise from the difference level in those championship rounds, round 4 and 5, where they could, like what Dan just mentioned, they could arguably have stopped the fight, all that extra time. What did you notice a significant difference in his level of striking, his just cohesiveness, his awareness in there? Did you notice anything?
Not really, to be honest. I feel the last round, towards the end, I guess he just was pumped up and just wanted to do more, but I felt he was just as sharp as he was in the first round. You know what I mean? So it surprised me, because again, in between rounds, I'm he's done. So I'll go and put the pressure on, and then maybe I should have just done that a little bit more, and then really, really crumbled him. But he still looked on. So again, I was all right, I think he's got just a puncher's chance, or that submission, right? And he didn't get them submissions. So now I'm thinking maybe it's just a puncher's chance. And so I was putting on there, but again, you've got to be calculated. I was trying to obviously still keep it entertaining, still be in his face, but still be calculated, because he was still dangerous. So, man, that's why you got to give him credit.
And I think also everyone's amazed by how you were able to escape all those chokes too.
Well, they were deep. I reckon the triangle was really deep, but because I survived the guillotine, and that was that deep, and literally it was oh no, I'm just doing whatever I can to make that little bit of space so I can, get a bit of blood back to the brain. And I had a moment, as I've been talking about, where I was thinking of the family and all that type of stuff, and I'm man, you can't let this be it. You can't let them take the belt away from your family. I remember thinking something like that. So a couple extra movements, made the littlest bit of space. I'm oh, I'm all right here, and then the chin come down, and I got out. So after that, the triangle felt like nothing, even though I was in a very, very deep triangle. You had my leg, you had the right angle, I was laying on my side, and it doesn't get any deeper than that, especially with someone like Ortega, who's a finisher, and to get out of that, obviously that's pretty impressive. But it just shows you that, like, I've always talked about, that the adversity and all that type of stuff, and I'm the type of guy that, bring it on, you know what I mean, and hard work and all, you know what I mean. It's just what sort of happened in that third round just shows you, like, the type of human being I am, and what I've always said as well. And I've always said that, no one works harder than me in the gym, all that type of stuff, and put yourself for adversity, life experience, you name it. I'm always, that's where I go with it, and that's sort of proof of what I've always said and believed in.
Without a doubt, and certainly with that mindset, you look at your division, November 13th, Yair Rodriguez, if that fight happens with Max Holloway, I know they've tried to book that before, that would likely mean that if you waited for that winner, that's another, maybe 5-6 months. You're someone who wants to be active, so you talked about different weight divisions at the post-fight press conference. Like, realistically, what is the best case scenario for you?
Obviously we need to talk to the team and see what we've got to do. Yeah, well, Cejudo's been throwing his name. Oh, he was on your show, was he? Was he on here?
He is. And this is
It's Schmoz, mate.
And it is. We started a show. We started a show.
That's it. I'm going.
Plug it in. I'm out.
But let me just ask you this, because I'm sure this is what he wanted me to relay to you. With what he's done in his career.
No,
with being the only one in UFC history to have an Olympic gold medal, and then to winning 2 divisions as a two-division champion. Dana White's doubted him before, and Dana White has then said he doesn't doubt him for anything he does together.
So he told you to say this as well? Fuck, he sounds desperate.
Well, I'm just trying. Where do you assess him realistically as an opponent?
Let's be real. Like, I've obviously got respect for the guy. I'm not saying he can't fight, but at the same time, we've got a stacked division and all that, but we are in, I'll be honest, we are in a spot right now where we're waiting for that number 1 contender with Yair and Max. So if there is a time for him to push, and I think that's why he's getting so desperate, because like, now's the fucking time. So again, I just don't think Dana's answering his calls or anything like that, so that's why he's maybe coming to you and doing whatever. Again, look, I respect the guy, and
he's paid you off.
You know what I mean? Yeah. How much he paying you? But in saying that, yeah, we'll talk. You never know. But I mean, obviously there'll be some upset featherweights just letting him sort of slide in. Because you know what? How many fights did he have in bantamweight? Do we know?
We had Dominic Cruz,
Marlon
Moraes,
and Marlon Moraes. Okay, so they were both title fights, were they?
Yeah. Marlon was for the vacant.
Marlon was for the title, and then he defended against Dominic Cruz.
So again, I got respect for the guy. He can fight. But this is featherweight. This is 2 divisions heavier than where he's at, and so and he talks about game planning and all this type of stuff and all that. It's like, yeah, all right, mate, you did good, but I've got power, I've got all that type of stuff, and then you ain't gonna outwork me, you ain't gonna out strategize me. We've got a great team behind us as well, like, you know what I mean. And then I've got all these other tools, and yeah, mate, I'll squash the germ. Where you at? There you are.
So is he a respectable opponent?
Yeah, man, look, he is. We'll see. What do you reckon, Ash? Yeah, why not? well, there you go. Well, while we're waiting, again, I do want to stay active.
I know.
But I mean, that's why I was thinking, without the, you don't, even though I don't cut too much, do I just do, you obviously got Connor sitting there saying stuff and all that, do you move up and just have a little fight while we're waiting? You know what I mean? I'm undefeated at lightweight too.
It's a good time to be Alexander the Great Volkanovski.
Exactly right.